can download the show on your whole phone, tablet, or your brain, your iPhone too.
Convo Cafe, suckers.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Convo Cafe. My name is Vaughn, and today, I have our resident doctor on the show with me, Dr. Omari Jackson. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I don't feel comfortable being doctor talking to you though.
Well,
So
you
maybe
just have to
can we
walk.
tell people that I got these? Can we tell people that I got these credentials? Because white people will Google you.
No, you just got to walk in the skin that you in, and let me also put some respect on your name. Ever since you have been promoted to the assistant dean at Towson University.
I'll take that, yo. Take that.
Yeah. So congratulations on your new promotion, though.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. I also want to say I appreciate you taking out this time. You know what I mean? I know you my little brother, though, but that doesn't automatically mean that you clear your schedule out for me for interviews and stuff, though. So I definitely appreciate that. I want to let my visitors.
Exactly.
Yeah. I want to let my listeners know that Dr. Omari Jackson, right now, he's out in Ghana, and he is out in Ghana doing research. And I want you to tell them a little bit about the research that you're doing.
Yeah, my colleague and I are out here, and I'm really grateful to my colleague. If you all get a chance to Google him, his name is Dr. Kofi Lee Niles. He's on the faculty at Towson University in the College of Education, but he really has been a mentor for me. He is a junior faculty member in terms of experience. I am seen as the more senior colleague, but in this project, man, he really has been the senior colleague. He has a lot of experience with Ghana, having come here a couple of times, as well as research and just like activism. And so he asked me if I'd be interested in collaborating with him on this project. And I jumped, man, with a resounding, of course. But we are out here just talking to other Black folks like ourselves who obviously have African lineage running through our history and our current experience, man, and have repatriated here to Ghana. Some people we've interviewed have repatriated from the Caribbean. Some have repatriated from the U.S. Some have repatriated from uh, uh, Canada. And so they're just talking about their experiences moving to another country, the things that, have they've had to get used to. And then also the things that have come, quite easy to them. For us being Black people in the U.S., it is a challenging experience because the country we live in, the systems that we operate by, were not built for our success, and so that's obviously a challenging thing. When you look at the school system failing our students, when you look at the family structure having issues, when you look at social services, the economy, and all those things that aren't working for us, we shouldn't be surprised because it was never built to work for us. And so a lot of people have repatriated, but that comes with its challenges because, again, we being born in the system, even though it doesn't work for us, we are used to it. It's kind
Okay.
of like someone who might be in an abusive relationship. Obviously, that's not productive and it doesn't feel good, but if that's
Right.
what you're used to it.
Agreed. I agree. And so just to clarify, though, you're basically out there studying people who have decided to move from wherever they live at to Ghana and continue their life there. So let me ask, what sparked your interest in that type of study, that migrating people, specifically from their hometowns to Ghana?
Yeah. So what sparked it directly is Kofi Lee Niles and his research interest being specifically here, but broadly, what sparked it is my overall interest in Africa as a
Okay.
continent. I've been to South Africa several times. I have a research project there, but then I also spent 5 weeks through a Fulbright Hayes program in Senegal. And so, this is my third African country and just want to make it to as many as possible, man,
Okay.
to recognize just the beauty of Blackness and, just where we came from.
Right. So how has your experience been conducting field work in Ghana so far?
Man, it's been the best. I'll admit that we are staying in, um, in a condo, an Airbnb that we rented, and so we have all the conveniences that we would have back home. I'll admit that that makes our stay comfortable. That enables me to make sure I have a stable internet connection where I can speak with you. It enables me to make sure that I have, water that I can digest because when I travel to other countries, and this is not just Ghana, this is other countries. If it's European, if it's Caribbean, if it is African. I don't drink the water that comes out of the fountain because my system is not used to it. So, like, it might not make someone sick here who is used to it, but I have to be very careful so that I don't end up in the hospital. I'm sorry, get back. Remind me how has the experience been? So I was saying we have all the conveniences that we're used to
Right.
at home, but what we've been doing is making sure that we don't rest in this, that we don't just stay here, in this fancy smancy place where we got a rooftop pool and stuff like that. So we do that, yes, but we've been spending the majority of our day actually going into the villages, interviewing folks, and so we've had dinner in the villages, we've talked to people in the villages, we've been shopping in the
Right.
villages, and so we get a chance to see what that life is like.
Right.
Now, I will say, when I was in Senegal, I did stay in villages,
Okay.
and that was a cool experience. But yeah, it's
That's
been
cool.
good, man.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So then let me ask this then. What are some of the common reasons that people give for, choosing to leave their hometowns and move to Ghana?
Yeah, we were at a restaurant, man, and we went to a wedding, a Ghanaian wedding, and
Hmm.
then after we went to a restaurant, and the restaurant looked. I'll share some of these videos with you. The restaurant looked like what most people would consider sort of. It looked kind of like a construction site because it was under construction. They are building a bigger, restaurant, and so we kind of
Okay.
joked a little bit in saying that there was a what do you call it, what do you call it, like a water drain or a gutter or whatever running through the backyard, and it was lots of dust and things like that, man. But the food was great, and the conversation was even greater, man. And in our conversation, Kofi looked and he said, "Man, this is why we come to Africa, so we can
Right.
be free." He was
Yeah.
like, "Ain't nobody calling the police on us because we got the music up. Ain't nobody calling the police on us because we're burning incense. Ain't nobody calling the police on us because we're sitting outside late. You know what I mean?" Nobody is fearful, and it's funny because he said we're in the hood. He said that
Right.
the area was called Medina, and so he said anyone who if you Google it, you'll hear of it as it is the hood here in Accra. But even though it's the hood, you didn't have a reason to be fearful. Like, they don't have murder in Ghana. Like, I'm sure, I haven't looked at actually, I did look at the data, and I saw that they have like 1.5 murders or something like that per 100,000 people.
Oh
But
wow.
if I remember correctly, they have 30 million people. And so if they have 30 million people, that would put us at definitely less than 30, less, you know what I mean? And so you don't have that same fear that you have like growing up that we had in Detroit, living in Baltimore.
Right.
I'm not sure if I even told you that OJ. I don't think I told you that OJ saw someone right after they were shot. Did I?
Oh wow. No.
Yeah. But like, you don't have that fear, you know what I'm saying? Like when your 13-year-old goes out of the house. And so when I was telling him about when you were telling me about freedom. You know what I mean? And so when you can just have that freedom to like just have fun. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I heard that King's prom was shot up the other day in
Oh,
Detroit.
I
I don't know if it
I
go
didn't
ahead.
hear that. I'd have to look into it, but I mean, I definitely know that those things happen though too. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
you don't have that same fear.
yeah, that was actually going to lead me into my next question though. So, what is that? I don't even know how to. I guess I don't even know how to phrase it though. But I kind of lost my train of thought. But do you see this like as a new? Do you see this as a new trend, or I don't even want to say trend because I feel like trend kind of minimizes the whole thing about it. But do you see this as a new way of life for some people, or something that you see a lot of people starting to do?
So it's interesting. I actually do want to keep your verbiage trend if you're cool with that. I
Yeah.
think that I think it is trendy for people to say like, yeah, I'm going back to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I say I think it's trendy because a lot of people say that without having done their research. And
Right.
literally, Kofi and I have been talking about this every day, man. We just been having really deep conversations, given that we're working together, but at this point living together as well. And so, again, because it is a different structure, a lot of people don't know all the things that they're getting into. They don't know all the positives. They don't know, all the areas for development. And so I do think it's trendy for people to say like, oh yeah, I'm going back to Africa.
Okay. So then let me ask this just to kind of get your personal insight. And again, like I said, I appreciate your time though. I know you have a busy schedule while you're over there. But has this journey or challenge, has this journey like challenged or shifted any of your own like assumptions or personal beliefs?
Yeah, absolutely. I even when I have heard, negative things about Africa in general, I've never heard anything specifically negative about Ghana, but just in general, you
Right.
hear, about the great levels of poverty. The reality is there are great levels of poverty,
Right.
but that's also if you use that one definition of money as poverty, right? And so like people here don't look at well, let me say this. I haven't spoken to that many people here who are like very, very poor. In Senegal, I did speak to quite a few people who are very, very poor,
Okay.
but they still don't look at themselves as very, very poor. They actually look at themselves as, rich in terms of community, rich in terms of love, like rich in terms of, pride for their country and their culture. But it kind of reminds me of how mom spoke. Mom said that she didn't recognize they were poor when they were kids
Right.
because they always had food. And so
Right.
she thought like, hey, this is just what life is.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So then let me ask this then and kind of I guess kind of jumping ahead to the academic kind of impact a part of it. Like how do you guys plan to share your research? Like or books, lectures, publications, any type of platforms or something?
Yeah, we're going to do some public, and I do want to shout out my department and our university, man, for supporting us in this endeavor. We really get a chance to live a very cool life, man, to explore things that we are interested in and call it work. You know what I mean? Like for a lot of
Right.
people, they look at this as, vacation, and it's obvious. Yes, we just got back from breakfast, you know what I'm saying? But there are days where we spend hours, interviewing people and like traveling to interviews and things like that. So we are working.
Right.
But we plan to share it through presentations when we get back. We also plan to write so that it will go in, academic articles and or book chapters, or maybe even like, a public like a something that would be written in a more popular venue like a magazine or newspaper article. I'm really going to follow my colleagues' lead, but then also I know you follow me on social media, but I really enjoy sharing this kind of thing on social media because I've really had people reach out to me to say like
Right.
it's because of your visits to Senegal or to South Africa that I decided to visit the continent. And so I really like sharing with people my experiences so they don't see just what the television shows with the poverty. Like I went live at the wedding that I was at, where they were, dancing and, doing like different cultural chants and things like that. What
Yeah.
people don't see, man, is that was a very moving experience for me. Like I spent a lot of time, like, crying, just thinking like, man, like what if
Yeah.
this was never taken from me and it was all I knew? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we share it in all kinds of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. So then let me ask this then, and I'm gonna get ready to close in a little while. Like I said, I do appreciate your time though. What do you hope your research contributes to the broader conversation about repatriotism? Did I pronounce it right? Repatriotism?
I guess that sounds good. Repatriation. Yeah, because
Repatriate. Oh yeah,
repatriate.
repatriation. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
But we from the hood, yo. So we just be making stuff up.
Yeah, but we have to bring validity to what we say because our words have power. And like I said, on this podcast, it's all about educating myself as well as my listeners too. So we want to definitely make sure that we get the terms right, though. But what do you hope that it contributes to the broader conversation about it?
I hope it opens people up to challenging their ideas of like what is cool, what is right, what is desirable. Because if you keep your same American standards,
Hmm.
you will come to Ghana, and a lot of countries, not just Ghana, right? Caribbean
Right.
countries, like South American countries, like, you will
Right.
come to a lot of countries that when I say we, Black and brown people are from, and you will come with a deficit mindset and say like, oh, this water ain't cold enough, or oh, this street ain't straight enough or paved enough, or this ain't, what I mean? Like you will look at all the negative things, what I mean? Like
Right.
you will look at all, because we drove from here to Cape Coast, and I think that may be like 70 or 80 miles when I look it up. And it took
Mm-hmm.
us probably, 3.5, 4 hours, depending on traffic. And so you will look at that and say like, but back in the States, I can get there in an hour. I can get there in an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. And so if you only look at it through that perspective, then yeah, this is going to be a terrible experience for you. But when you look at it as this is a place for growth, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a place that has been torn down, because of people's hate. And, we are rebuilding. It gives you an opportunity to see it through a different lens. If you come thinking like recognizing that this is a different culture, you can't bring your same cultural, eyeglasses, so to speak, and wear them. You got to take your eyeglasses off and put on a new perspective and see the beauty. Again, the poverty that you see in terms of finances is not poverty that you see in their communities. You
Right.
see wealth in our communities, but then you see poverty. You have these, fractured, families where like parents are not speaking to children, like siblings are not speaking to, one another or whatever. That's less likely here. So
Right.
what they don't have in money, they far outweigh in terms of cultural wealth.
Right. Yeah, I do understand. Well, listen, I definitely appreciate you and your colleagues, you know what I mean, helping us out with this interview, though, on this morning, though. It's like 9 o'clock on a Sunday. What time is it out there?
It is, it's 12:52 here. We're 4 hours ahead of you all.
Okay, all right. Well, that's cool then. Well, look, man, I won't hold you guys from lunch, though, man. What do you guys think you're going to be eating for lunch? Do you even know the names of the stuff that you might eat for lunch?
We just got back from breakfast, actually. But one thing I would encourage people to Google, and we found it one time, and I think that's the thing I'm mad at Ghana about, not having Killy Willy broadly available. Man, we had Killy Willy, but I think that it's like, Kofi, help me out. You said that it's plantains, garlic, peanuts. But when I tell you, man, it just tastes like a ton of goodness. I got spoiled when I had it one time, and we've been searching, we've been on a manhunt for it, and
Okay.
people are like, oh, you got it. And
Oh,
so tell people to Google Killy Willy. Tell people to Google buffalo. It's just, like a donut or whatever, whole or whatever they eat it for breakfast. Again, I didn't know it was eating for breakfast, so I got spoiled, got it one morning, been on the manhunt for it, and people are like, oh, we only make that in the morning. And so the food is awesome, man. The red was black-eyed peas with plantains. I think that was it, but obviously with, different spices and things like that. But one thing that I love about traveling, man, is that you get an opportunity to see that we eat what they eat. Like our ancestors brought that. So when they took a lot from us, there
right.
were so many things that we retained. And so they eat rice. They just put some different stuff in it. They eat beans.